Welcome everybody to this stream. I'm Slicer Shanks and I'd be happy to take you along on this journey today from Van Nuys to Camarillo. We've already filed our flight plan. The plane is set and ready to go. And looks like there's not a lot of ATC for today, but we're gonna make do. We're gonna, let me see here. There we go. Make sure I'm exited out of any chats so that we're not being interrupted. My DC generator and the ignition is still on. Turn that igniter off. Reset, and all the enunciators have gone away. Alright, so we're still going to be practicing with using using the plates today. This is the route that I've charted from here in Van Nuys out to Monterrey. We're going to be going along the coast, and there's a little bit of weather on the way. So this will be, we're going to be taxiing ourselves out and basically self-clearing ourselves out because sounds like neither Oakland or LA centers are up, so. But this will be some good practice for comms and also just for trying out departures as well. So without further ado, let's begin the taxi. I've got the taxi lights on. Let's release the parking brake, and we should naturally start rolling forward. I've got the props set to full forward. Just so we know, not the traffic! I'm right here! I'm gonna join Alpha Taxiway to 16 right, set up the autopilot over there, and then depart on the Canoga 3 departure. Van Nuys traffic, King Air 1337 Charlie, taxiing from the ramp via Alpha to 16 right, Van Nuys. Give it just a little bit of juice. Make sure we watch our turbine temperatures, make sure we're not overheating anything. Yeah, this is going to be kind of what I'm hoping to be a regular stream, IFR Fridays. I hope everyone likes the name. They're not going to be super long airliner journeys. They're going to be short hops in close to general aviation aircraft. I think exploring the general aviation side of aviation is really interesting to me. And I mean, as a budding pilot in real life myself, I think it's kind of a misstep if we're not, I think, introducing people to the first kind of flying that they're most likely going to be exposed to on their journey to earn their licenses and up to a career in aviation. It's been a while since I've flown this plane in X-plane, so I'm probably gonna miss some steps. Most likely, the autopilot system is like very finicky and clunky at best. I have to keep looking down over here to catch some stuff. Those are T6 Texans in real life. There's a flying group called the Condor Squadron, and they do commemorative shows and lots of formation flying over California. I've seen them often, and their engine note is very distinct every time they depart. Let me check that we're clear of any taxiways. There's not a lot of traffic, at least on my scope today. ForeFlight won't actually show us the traffic, unlike, I can't remember what app it was for Flight Simulator 2020 that I think that shows you traffic. which is a bummer. I wish you could have that for X-Plane. Because it seems like it would be a really cool idea. Is the weather updating itself? I think a Rex purchase is probably not Rex. What am I talking about? I think for X-Plane it's X Enviro, I want to say. Yeah, the thrust reverser mechanic in Flight Simulator 2020 is weird. You have to push the button and then... There we go. Let's also position ourselves about right here. We don't need a pre-flight the airplane. I think for now it's just to... Well, let's set the parking brake. Let's configure initially... Oh gosh, how does this work? Autopilot engage is right here, but I don't want that right now. Not right now. Turn on the elevator trim, the rudder boost on. Gosh damn it. Nav data, sync heading, push, altitude select. Yeah, like hell you're gonna select the heading, dude. Now let's set it along the runway heading for now. Gosh damn. That's my autopilot turn knob. What is this? Yeah, that disengages it. Typical. No, I can't. I wonder if it's I can only select the heading within like a couple degrees or something like that. That's probably what's happening. It's a shame because I need a. I think that's my. Isn't that my DME or something like that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's my DME. There's no. Oh, this should be. Let's do a last check. Make sure that everything's good to go. Time to go. We're actually 1 minute late. Let's hand fly it. The GPS should catch on to what we're doing. This is so weird. I can't like arm anything. All right. Van Nuys traffic. King Air 1337 Charlie departing runway 16 right. Van Nuys.
Approaching runway 16 right.
Thank you, Betty.
Entered runway 16 right. 8,000 feet remaining.
Alright, here we go. Full throttle. Put the flaps down, maybe. A bump on the indicators for the cooling. We're looking for about 90 knots. Rotation speed. We're airborne. Fly nav. Okay, doesn't want to do anything apparently. Okay, we'll just hand fly this approach. That might be an OBS I'm missing or something like that. That is a really cool indicator though. There, let's activate this leg. Yeah, I figured I was gonna get tripped up by whatever was happening on the autopilot. Let's focus on flying this thing first, not get tripped up by. Let's bring up the plate. So IPO.
Los Angeles Traffic, Cargo King 219er, right zone for ILS 25%.
Yeah, I should be able to just hand fly to the point. Once we get up to en route and cruise portion, we'll figure out the autopilot from there, not let it distract me. Aeronautical decision making, my instructor would be proud now. That should be flaps all the way up. We should be able to gain some speed and altitude. Okay, well, what is this GPS doing? What's going on? We just activated the new leg. Let's intercept this and fly the course. What did I do wrong? Elevator trim has powered. Flight director. That was the problem for sure. Definitely the flight director. Okay. Let's give it heading now. Vertical speed. Now it should track. There we go. Simple, right? Let's give it a desired track then. see, 5,000. So let's level off here. We're supposed to be 4,000, 5,000. All runways do not intercept any departure radio to advised by ETC. We don't have ETC. We meet the minimums. There was no clearance. It's pretty much VFR today. We're practicing our IFR. Our IFR abilities. Once we clear Suwana, we're cleared. Yeah, let's do that. Or let's hold that altitude. So it's not a hard altitude. The only one that I see on this plate is Casta, which we're not using, which is you have to be above 8,300 because of those mountains out there. We'll hold this altitude past one, and then let's actually climb up to 10,000. Ah! Pass through. Let's continue our climb then up to I figure out my controls. Yeah, we should be able to do like way more than this, that's for sure. It's the Camarillo area. Spent a lot of time over here. And if you just joined the stream, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey from Van Nuys to Camarillo. We just did the departure portion. Go ahead to stop by, feel free to ask any questions. Pick the brain of a pilot, you know. Let's continue my scan. Scan is something that I've been working on for quite a little bit. $194, oh my gosh. I was flying a 152 the other day. I could only hope for like 100 knots. So insane. About to pass over Fillmore. That means that Santa Paula Airport shouldn't be too far. I think off my left over here. Yeah, that's it right there. They have a diner over there that opens at like 4. You can just fly in, grab some grub, and then fly over for the sunsets at like 6 p.m. I'm planning on doing that one of these days. Gotta give myself some, you know, fun flights to do every now and then. then at that airport, right down there is supposed to be, I guess, a world famous aerobatics flying school, CP Aviation, and they do all of their flight training right here in this airspace that we just happen to be passing through. It's supposed to be, I guess, a premier place for getting your tailwheel endorsement, your aerobatics. They have a lot of super decathlons. Yeah, very interesting airport. I'm gonna grab some grub there one day. Okay, so we're done with this plate. Let's transition. It's a system like right in front of me. I think the weather and X-plane usually lags behind by like 15 minutes or so. So that stuff off my right wing is what's over here right now. Of course, it could update like right now and then put us right in the middle of the weather. We can climb. I was wondering, yeah, we can climb quicker than this. And then that's, yeah, that's Ojai right there. Need to actually drive out there one of these days. Gonna be slowly but surely approaching our now cruising altitude. Looks like minimum cruising altitude for this Victor Airway is 8,000 feet. So 10,000 should give us plenty of clearance for any of the terrain along this route, which is a good thing. Because if you couldn't see anything, that's what instrument meteorological conditions, IMC, is. The IFR route is supposed to keep you clear of any and all obstructions, including all of these mountains right here. Very pretty though. Very, very pretty. Alright, we've captured the altitude, we've captured the nav, autopilot's on. Not that much to do except, you know, see and avoid for traffic, because there's no traffic advisory at least on this GPS. I think there's supposed to be. Yeah, look at that. No controllers on, so everyone just kind of self-announces on that. So it's not ideal, but it is what it is. It's Lake Casitas over there. I recently took my parents flying on this exact route. Actually, it was incredible. They loved it, of course, and were singing my praises to the ground crew as we stepped out of the aircraft. Yes, I'm supposed to turn these on, or else we don't have cabin pressurization. Yeah. Which means these should start. Yeah, that should start spinning as the bleed air is opened. Actually, I can't see what this thing is doing because it's wrong? If these are trying to tell me both the same thing, then they're not really doing a fantastic job of it. And then, yeah, this one isn't called, it's called San Marcos. And it literally sits on top of this mountain. I should stop flying Victor Airways. If I had known so much IFR traffic used this stuff, you know, my IFR training and all that. I found that usually about like 2,000 RPM on the prop gives me like a big speed boost. Yeah, so we got a speed, we gained like 5 knots or so there. $19.50. Kind of get, yeah, it kind of stops right there, so we'll leave the. Is it drawing from these tanks right now? Yeah, I think we're feeding off of the nacelle tanks. I think, or like they should be. Should keep an eye on this. If it gets down to 1,000, I'm going to turn the pumps on. I was curious about whether there was anything of note in this big old mountain range, and apparently there like isn't. So no one has come online. San Diego. So San Diego has a tower now, and an approach controller, and an ATIS, but nobody north of that, man. I'm thinking about like. I've toyed with the thought of like learning bat sim controlling. I'm not too keen on the idea, but you know, it sounds like fun. There, oh, look at that. That's pretty cool, actually. I didn't know I could do that. Huh. I wonder then. No, there's no menu for this. Darn. It's a shame. And look at this, because we're on instruments, do not have to worry about these clouds at all. Unless they made some turbulence. In that case, but I think we should be alright at this altitude. I was flying over here, and what's it? The weather stations were reporting the clouds were like at 4,000 or something like that. When in reality, they were at 5,000. So sometimes instruments aren't very accurate. at least in real life. Usually, they'll be accurate to within a certain margin of error. So even though the ground instruments for the weather stations, when correctly reporting them at 5,000, they were close to within like 1,000 feet. So they'll give you a good picture of what's, you know, what to expect. Like this is basically what it looked like on the way over there. So I just dove underneath the clouds, and this was, oh yeah, this was the flight where I took my parents to. Like the first time I'd ever seen anything like that. Of course, I also don't have many hours under my belt, so I'm sure it's a first of many experiences. But that's also partly why I find it so important to get the instrument rating sooner rather than later, because I don't feel like, you know, especially if I were with my parents and I was responsible for their well-being, you know, if I wasn't able to get them out of a situation because I didn't have an instrument rating, you know, that would be on me. Who had the ability to go out and get the instrument rating, and I didn't. That is Santa Barbara. I had a goof there the other day. That's a story for another day, though. It's another really interesting airport. Yeah, this cloud layer right here, I'm interested to see what to expect. And in fact, let's we should turn all the heat up, because the icing level was reported at like, I don't know, like 6,000 or something like that. Something very low. Okay, we're still putting out windshield icing. Did I forget to turn on my lights heading out? Probably. Okay, we just hit San Marcos. Is it a required point? I can't see. Morro Bay isn't a required point. If I turn off the... Yeah, it isn't required points. Hello, lurkers. Welcome to the stream. Go ahead, sit back and enjoy the views. Probably switch to the, let's see. Yeah, passenger section. Get some views out of here. Uh-oh. Well, that was weird. Hopefully we'll exit these later soon. That's pretty for now. Ah, there we go. That should be... If it's not there, it's somewhere else. Santa Maria Airport. Actually, I had a chart. I have charts. Yeah, Santa Maria. It's off to our left. That's kind of somewhat close to our what do I want to call it? Our kind of our halfway point in the flight. So we're making good progress. It's let's see, what time is it? So it's been 30 minutes since departure, and we've made up a lot of good distance. 30 minutes in a slower airplane would have put me way, way back there. Certainly not a slow airplane, that's for sure. Now, I told myself I'd be keeping an eye on the fuel tanks. I don't think anything's changed. Not significantly so. Wow. I'm really missing all my beats now, aren't I? Let's see if my ground speed increases. Not too much. My airspeed would also have to increase over here as well. There it is, that's Santa Maria. I haven't heard from anyone since. Yeah, there's no nearby controllers, which is a shame. Probably more people would be, and I'd have to like. Honestly, I'd have to do a flight on a like whenever they have an event or something like that. But I think the only place I'd be able to find any information on that is I think every center has their own webpage as far as that sim is concerned, and they'll post up all their information and ways to become a controller and all that. much further now? I don't think too much further. Wiggle, that's weird. Wiggle's in a different place than I expected. And then going direct Paso Robles does put me in a bit of a bind as far as the weather's just moving in my route too. It's no bueno. Yeah, I didn't see that there's some military airspace over there. Let's switch to the VFR sectional. It's oh, restricted airspace. Yeah, I'd have to modify the flights somehow. Otherwise, I'm gonna like plow straight into. Unless I can turn PRB, and instead, like, if I flew north and then activated direct to Wiggle, I think I can make it work. Yeah, because that's all airspace that we want to avoid all of that. 'Cause it was like it's an army something, yeah. It's just something out there. Wow, it is not a VFR day today, that's for sure. I'm not gonna go proper though, got brown food. All night for my favorite. I've got Oreos. It's a good day. Okay. I'm gonna turn on the transfer pumps then. Which means it's gonna start draining from, yeah, I wanna say the total fuel quantity into the nacelle tanks for the engines. In 3 minutes, so we hit Morro Bay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try and align this heading with the desired track. We're gonna fly the heading. We're gonna purposely go past Paso Robles out to this point right here at Lake Earn, which I think used to be. It used to be a VOR, but I think they since decommissioned it. It's a Tango route. We have GPS, and we're able to fly it. That's so weird, though. I don't know why they would even publish or make a a route that you could fly that just crosses right over that military operating area. Unless you knew what the altitudes were, but even then, that's somewhat a sketch. Well, less than a minute now. Let's start rotating towards Paso Robles. This is the Ocean Pacific. Right turn to 0001. Like that. It's beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to heading. And there shouldn't be that much changeover because they're basically one and the same. Gear is up, right? It is. Receiving a marker beacon. Side tone. Why is the HSI source like all the way over here? It's so weird. Alright, we should start bringing up the plate for approach. GPS Yankee 28 left. So we're gonna enter in at 5001 and then proceed down, step down each time. Minimums, we are I think we're at category C. So minimums are 1080 and 2.5 miles visibility. Okay. So that's for WAS, approach course 261. It is 11925. So it's going to be on this one. And then default 8 is enabled. We'll start receiving that usually about okay, cool. As long as I have that backed up, we should be good. Got a system now encroaching on the flight path. This is gonna be fun! It's gonna be lots and lots of fun. See, can we see Paso Robles Airport from here? Should be able to. It's north of the town. That's it right there. That's Paso Robles Airport. There is a museum. Yeah. There's a museum right there where they keep a bunch of old historic aircraft. And guess what? You could just taxi up and park your airplane right next to the place and just walk in. It's an untowered airport, so it's a lot of fun. Yeah, we're starting to see that restricted area now off to our left, whatever this place is. There's a mountain range here, and they like canceled my flight following like right as I crossed this mountain range. You can see the airspace now. Avenal up there. So that's Lemoore, yeah. Naval Air Station Lemoore, I think, is in there somewhere. We're making good time for a flight like this. I'm about to cross it now. Let's see, does it tell me what? No, it should tell me if I get rid of the radar, the heading to follow right here. Let's see if I do this. So magnetic course 154. 2 1 seconds. Or no, what's the reciprocal of 154? It's, can't turn around in my head. 336. So let's turn instead to this heading. And that should put me on track to intercept whatever the name of that is. Whew. Alright, once we get close to... Man, I'm blanking hard. I should have just gone Sardo. I had Sardo planned. I don't know what caused me to get off of that flag plan, but yeah. I should have went Sardo and then head on to Wiggle, direct to Wiggle, I think. I should have kept that in my plan and for good measure too, but you know, you live and you learn. That's why, you know, in the simulator environment, it's better to make mistakes in the simulator than it is to go out and get busted for real. It's no fun. It's no fun at all. Let's modify the heading just a little bit to the left. Now tracking 332. Should hopefully put me on track to intercept Lake Earn. Lake Hearn? Lake Earn? Something. Yep, making our way slowly but surely across the map. Well, not slowly. We're doing, like 210 ground speed. Oh my god. Freaking people the hell out! I'm so used to the digital squawk boxes just do it automatically. They just record altitude. Okay, right about now we're going to start with the procedure. We're going to say yes. Activate approach. So now we got direct to. Now I'm going to let the plane figure itself out. Now let's look at the plate, because the plate tells us everything we need to know. IAF wiggle, but from wiggle and onwards we need to be at 5,100, no PT, straight into the fix at Haxar. And from Haxar to basically the rest of the approach, we need to follow this profile all the way down. We can hit approach right there once we cross Igeo. I don't know how to pronounce that. Help me out, chat. Make sure we sync the bug every time we change direction. And look, we just gained some ground speed. Probably because we had a headwind going all the way this way. So, less headwind, we gain more speed. It's always a plus in my book. That's a big holding pattern though. 5 nautical mile. So it's not done by time, it's done by distance. And it's done by distance from a waypoint. That's the other thing too. It's done by distance from a waypoint. So let's actually tune, let's see. Salinas, right? Just to practice, you know, getting that fix. Having it tell us whatever it's telling us. That's weird. We still haven't received the ATIS from Monterrey yet. What's my distance? I'm 40 miles away, 50 miles away. So that could be because of terrain obstruction. But I need that. I need information. I need the ATIS. The runway is upsloped towards us. It's actually downsloped on the one side, and then it kind of crests over at one point and onto the other side. So it's a very, it's a weird place to land at. What's my
Monterrey Recall
There we go.
Sierra 2200 Zulu weather. Wind 320 at
320 at 6, so it's about
visibility more than 10.
40
Sky
degrees
conditions
distance.
3000 few. Temperature
So it's a bit
15.
across one.
Dew
Not
point
too
6.
much.
Altimeter 3017.
3017.
Arriving runways 28 right, 28 left. Departing runways 28 right, 28 left.
Information Sierra.
Advise on initial contact. You have Sierra.
Few clouds at 3,000 feet. 15 degrees. Alright, that still might change depending on how much time it takes to come in. So, usually if there's a lot of weather, King City, we should be passing off to the left. it is. That's King City. Untowered, it seems. Gained even more speed, man. That's wild. How many miles out now? 5 minutes out from Wiggle. Let's start descending. Because it's going to take me 5 minutes to descend to that altitude anyways. So we're going to go down. So let's see. They said to cross 5,100 feet. So we're going to do as they wish. Altitude select. Where's it go? This doesn't work. Use the prop to slow us down by just a smidge. As we begin our descent.
Destination ATIS is 119.25.
Thank you, Betty. Descend quicker than that. 3 minutes until Wiggle. I think we're not gonna... Yeah, we're gonna pass it and still not be at altitude. Because I should have been descending 1,000 feet. Why not? Let's do 1,000 feet. Just keep watching this speed right here. I don't know what my speed NO is. I know what my NE speed is. It's that right there, pretty much. Decrease the range, we can get some more fidelity on the GPS. We have about 1,000 more feet to go. Camaro traffic, King Air 1337 Charlie inbound for the GPS Yankee approaching the runway 28 left. Cambrio traffic. Or, correction, Monterrey traffic. Might actually make this altitude. I'll be darned. Gained a lot of airspeed to do it, but alright. And we hit our altitude and then we turned. Perfect. Alright, now for the next one, let's see. Should give me what the, can't remember what it's called. We just hit wiggle, and we're now on the approach. So now we're going to hold this, and I'm gonna put in the next altitude that we need to hit, which is conveniently there we go. So once we cross the next point, which is IFR, we'll start another descent. And once we get to, what's it called? Agio is when we can hit the approach button and the plane should be able to take us all the way down to the runway. Once again, minima are for our class. I'm going to be Bravo Charlie, 1,800 and 2.5 miles visibility. So listen to Sierra once
Monterrey
again.
Regional Information Sierra.
Visibility more than 10.
2200.
So no problems with visibility. So we just got to be able to see the runway at 1,800. I wonder if it's supposed to execute the hold, or is the hold isn't even programmed into this this here thing. At least I don't think. It's programmed to the next one. Left turn soon. Look at this. About to hit IFR any second now. There we go. It's picked it up now, LPV. There's terrain ahead of me. Once we hit this point, we should be on the path. 3, 2, now. Let's approach on the glide slope. Where's... Oh, we do one final turn. Ha! At the at the foot of the runway. Okay. I can slow the airplane down all the way by the time we get there. That's motor's idle. Okay, now we're within flaps range. I want to wait just a little bit more. We'll set the first set of flaps. Yeah, it's just a weird slope of runway. See, it slopes up first and then it slopes away from you. Landing lights on. Let's turn the nav lights on. Everything is on. The last thing is just make sure we remember 1080, so not here, but the next time after that we're there is we're gonna want to declare minimums and then proceed because I can see the runway. Well, now might flip on me in the last second. Monterrey traffic came here 1337 Charlie on final for runway 28 left, Monterrey. Okay. Let's drop the gear. Help us reduce our speed. Yes, Senna, we're inside the airspace. I am aware of that. This is such an interesting approach. We like dogleg it at the last second.
1000.
Thank you.
$500.
Thank you, Betty. Not let the airplane get ahead of us. So flaps are now down, down. We're configured for landing. Minimums. I see the runway. Let's continue with the landing. figure out whether this thing is able to turn us straight onto the onto the runway or not.
400.
Okay, I have control of the airplane now.
300.
Just glide it in. Just glide it in.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Okay. Let's turn off at Lima. Taxi Lima Alpha. Monterrey traffic, King Air 1237 Charlie, clear of 28 left at Lima, taxi to parking via Alpha, Monterrey traffic. That's how it's done, folks. Probably landed maybe with just a little bit too much speed, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with that. Didn't have to do it over again. Didn't have to go back up for the hold. Criminies.
Good afternoon, Watsonville traffic. 737 Alpha is established on the RNAV 02 approach to runway 02 at Watsonville. Traffic permitting will circle land runway 20 Watsonville.
Gosh, that's the first traffic I've heard all day. Spirit. Well, this is what traffic models are these? This isn't VATSIM, is it? It has to be VATSIM. Let's see, Del Monte is on the corner over here, I think. Yeah. This building over here should be Del Monte Aviation. A big airplane. More off the center line. Find ourselves a place to park. Del Monte Aviation. I will have to check these guys out someday. We're actually passing them. All right. Let's damn, that was so good. Executed that. That was so good. Okay, we'll debrief later, but let's get to the business of shutting this airplane down. Yeah, the recognition lights. Not taxiing no more. Landing lights off. little bit of feather. Disengage the autopilot. We can do disengage of the yaw. Turn the elevator trimmer off. Rudder boost. Turn those off in a second. Turn off the bleeder valves. Turn these boys off. A lot of anti-icing, that's for sure. The igniters are off. Leave the inverter on. Request ground power. And then naturally, what we can do is feather the props. Naturally, what's going to happen is usually these temperatures start building up. But we're going to take care of that before any of that happens by doing this. It's not ready, yeah, whatever. Okay.
Wattsville traffic says 737 Zulu Alpha is established in the RNAV 6 mile final runway 2, Wattsville.
Yeah, some of the generators. Turn these guys off. Turn the inverter off. We'll shut it down in sequence. Power to the EFIS off. And yeah, turn the lights off, the beacon and the strobe. Avionics off. Battery off. And my battery as well. And that should be pretty much. The throttles also. Hello, nice for you. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. We're actually just finishing up. But this was the stock X-Plane C90 King Air. And we just got done with an instrument flight from Van Nuys to right here in Monterrey. And so I was just about to do a debrief of the flight. So we did a successful departure, for the most part, out of Van Nuys. Managed to refamiliarize myself with the aircraft. Had a bit of trouble finding the flight director on the way out, but managed to fix that and got ourselves established with the autopilot. I was also able to find and diagnose a problem with my flight path intersecting some restricted airspace on the way out. I was able to fix that too and recognize that. We shot the approach successfully. I think I could have initiated some of the descents a little earlier with 10 minutes out instead of the 5 minutes that I gave myself in like 1,000 feet per minute descent. Usually you want to do that at about 500 feet, so nobody's ears start popping. But yeah, this was an interesting approach. You come in, you like descend at an angle like the entire way. It's really interesting, and then the final point is where you rotate for final basically onto the runway itself. So that was a lot of fun to do. That was a lot of fun to fly. We'll have to fly the return leg hopefully sometime soon. But if you've either joined recently or if you've stayed for the flight, I want to thank you for hopping along throughout the flight. Usually I try to. I'm gonna start doing these streams regularly, the IFR Fridays, as I myself am a student pilot currently going through my instrument rating. So this kind of facilitates and helps me to build upon the experience that I'm already getting in actual flying, and hopefully the two kind of mesh together as I'm piling through my instrument rating. So yeah, if you've joined at any part of the broadcast, I want to thank you so much for hopping along with me, and catch me the next time I'm streaming. I'm always here for any questions that anyone has. I would love to share the knowledge that I have. But until